Welcome to Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz, along with Michelle Grinnell, and back again to find out about interesting places all throughout the state. And Michelle, where will our first place be?
We are headed up to Cheboygan, and Dave, you may know Cheboygan is one of our new partners this year for the summer tourism season, and we are excited to have them on board. And we are talking with Matthew Friday, who's the executive director of the Cheboygan Chamber. So welcome to the show, Matt.
Thank you.
So you have a great event coming up, the Cheboygan Waterways Festival, July 10th through the 13th, which we will get into in a few minutes. But let's start off with kind of an introduction to Cheboygan and where you guys are located and a little bit of what Cheboygan has to offer.
Sure. We're right at the tip of the mitt, just about 15 minutes from Mackinac City. So we're right on Lake Huron. Beautiful location, friendly community. I'm a little partial to it, obviously, due to the nature of my position. But I'm born and raised here too, and it's a wonderful community. But it's also beautiful. There's no place like it in Michigan, especially being both on Lake Huron and also having the Cheboygan River that runs through it, which is of course a major component of the Inland Waterway, which is a wonderful experience to take on a boat or just to enjoy driving along. It's a trip unlike any other.
Matt, you mentioned you've grown up there. What kind of changes have you seen in town over the last 10, 15 years?
Well, it's tourism has gotten a lot bigger. I can tell you that. It's not that far of a drive from downstate. In Michigan, we measure distances in hours or minutes of drive time, not miles. But it's really not that far of a drive from the Detroit area. 4 hours and you're here. Mm-hmm. But over time, Cheboygan has certainly had a share of ups and downs. Just like many communities in Michigan. But we're definitely seeing a rebound. I would say it's really starting to take off. I can see it a lot this summer, not just with tourism, but also pent-up demand for new construction. There's a lot of new construction projects going on up here. Lots of things happening that, owing to, of course, the quote-unquote Great Recession, things were stagnant for a while, but people are coming back. The jobs are returning, and Cheboygan is growing. It is a community on the move.
Yeah, I would say that, from my perception, Cheboygan's one of those towns that kind of surprises me that it's developed in such a nice way. It's not that it's gotten bigger, it's just gotten nicer, So I hadn't been there for several years, and then a few years ago, I was in Cheboygan and thought, man, what a difference. And it's a great, it's a great lesson for us that because we haven't been there for several years doesn't mean that it hasn't changed, because Cheboygan's really a cool little town.
It really is, and there have been some major infrastructure projects over the past few years too. They completely ripped up Main Street, put in a brand new Main Street, did a whole streetscape project. Excuse me. Derelict building was torn down a few years ago, built a beautiful new, we call it Festival Square. And it's a place that, of course, we hold a lot of events for the Waterways Festival, but it's also available for community use. There's a couple wedding receptions booked there this summer. It's just a great all-around facility. But a lot of projects like that, new footbridge across the river that connects Major City Park to Washington Park, where the Chamber office is located. A lot of sprucing up has gone on too, and there's still more to do. But it's really a community that has shown a lot of changes over the past few years, and there's going to be a lot more in the future, too.
Let's talk about the Waterways Festival coming up in just a few weeks here. 3-day event, correct?
Correct, yep.
So what goes on? I know you've got a kids' day, you've got a parade, you've got, and I may be saying this wrong, Wanigan Race?
You got it.
Talk about those.
Okay, well, the Kids' Day kind of kicks everything off. That's on the 10th, and our Cheboygan JCs, we've got a real active JCs chapter here. They do a lot of the work for that. But here in Washington Park, there's all kinds of different things for kids to do, face painting and games, and just lots of neat things that kids really enjoy. Bike decorating, There's a dunk tank, inflatable playground, and it's a good opportunity for kids to come out. And this was started a couple years ago. It was a new addition to the Waterways Festival, but it's gotten to be really, really popular.
Well, what is that Wanigan thing? I've never heard of that.
Well, that's it's pretty interesting. Let's say that. What it is a Wanigan is back in the lumbering days, for a lot of the lumber camps that were located along the major bodies of water up here, you would have a mobile kitchen. It was called a Wanigan.
Oh, yeah.
And so what this is, it's paying homage to that element of our history where you have to build a rather crudely constructed raft, and you have to have a little shack on it, and it's a race of these rafts.
So you have actually that race. You have like a kayak sprint race and a bunch of other really fun events. Of course, live entertainment in the festival place and all that. So it's the Cheboygan Waterways Festival coming up July 10th through the 13th, and that does look like it's going to be a great deal of fun. And Matt, we wish you the best of success with it. I see you also have an antique show, which is pretty cool as well. I like them myself. So people should check it out. Coming up July 10th through the 13th up in Cheboygan. And for more information, go to Cheboygan.com. I want to thank Matt Friday, Executive Director of the Cheboygan Chamber and CVB, for being with us today. We're heading to Frankenmuth for some beer next, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.